The Little Red Riding Hood, Kids' Bedtime Stories.
Once upon a time, in a small village nestled in the heart of a dense forest, lived a kind and loving grandmother named Little Red Riding Hood. She was known throughout the village for her delicious apple pies and her warm, inviting home. One day, Little Red Riding Hood's mother told her that she was going to visit her sick grandmother and asked if she would like to accompany her. Little Red Riding Hood, always eager to help, agreed to. As they walked through the forest, Little Red Riding Hood noticed the vibrant colors of the flowers and the sweet smell of the blossoming trees. She skipped and hopped, her heart filled with joy and anticipation. When they reached the grandmother's house, Little Red Riding Hood was surprised to see her grandmother looking so well. She was sitting by the fire, knitting a warm sweater for her granddaughter. Little Red Riding Hood's mother explained that her grandmother was much better and was looking forward to seeing her granddaughter. Little Red Riding Hood was excited to see her grandmother again and ran to hug her. After a warm embrace, Little Red Riding Hood's mother handed her a basket filled with fresh bread and a jar of honey. She told Little Red Riding Hood to take these gifts to the neighboring village and ask if they wanted to join them for dinner. Little Red Riding Hood was thrilled at the prospect of visiting the neighboring village and set off happily. As she walked through the village, she greeted everyone she knew, her heart filled with joy. When she reached the neighboring village, Little Red Riding Hood was surprised to find the villagers gathered in the town square. They were all dressed in their finest clothes and were laughing and talking. Little Red Riding Hood handed out the bread and honey, and the villagers thanked her warmly. They invited her to join them for their celebration, and Little Red Riding Hood happily accepted. As they feasted together, Little Red Riding Hood noticed that the villagers were all looking at her curiously. She felt a strange sensation creeping up her spine and realized that she was being watched. Suddenly, a large, menacing wolf emerged from the shadows. He was dressed in the clothes of a villager and was pointing a finger at Little Red Riding Hood. The villagers, under the wolf's spell, turned on Little Red Riding Hood, their faces twisted into ferocious snarls. Little Red Riding Hood, realizing the danger she was in, tried to escape, but it was too late. The wolf, now revealed in his true form, lunged at her. Just then, a brave woodcutter, who had been watching the scene unfold, rushed forward and saved Little Red Riding Hood from the wolf. The villagers, now free from the wolf's spell, were horrified by their actions and fled in fear. The woodcutter took Little Red Riding Hood home. where she was reunited with her mother and grandmother. From that day forward, Little Red Riding Hood always stayed close to her family and never ventured into the forest alone again. And so, the villagers learned a valuable lesson about the dangers that lurk in the shadows and the importance of sticking together. Little Red Riding Hood, on the other hand, became a hero in her village. And her story was passed down through generations, a reminder of the importance of courage and loyalty.
And they lived happily ever